Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to show you how to replace the gas shocks for your hood support in your 2002 Grand Marquis. This is also the same vehicle as the Crown Victoria and Lincoln Town Car, and will probably apply to other years of the same vehicle. These I got on Rock Auto from a company called AMS Automotive, and they were not very expensive. I have two of them here, and it looks like on the ends here what we have to do is pop a screwdriver in there and pop this C-clip out on each end, and then this will allow you to stick the ball inside of that opening, pop the clip back on, and it's as simple as that. So we're going to go outside and take a look at the car and see what tools we need to do this job. Alright, so here's the problem. You let go of the hood and it just shuts on its own. So we're going to replace these shocks, and hopefully that won't happen. Okay, so you can see here I have a crappy old broom, and I just jammed it into the air box and up here, so this should not fall down. I'm thinking we're going to replace this side first. What I've got here is like a pick and a small flathead screwdriver. We're going to see which one of these is the best tool for this job. Now we come up over here and we can see that indeed there is a plastic clip right here that needs to be popped out, and I believe you jam this in here and just pry this out. And the same thing with the one down here. There we go. And then this support here, this whole thing should just pull out this way, and we can drop the new one on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to that real quick, and we'll see what happens. So like I said, just pry these clips off, and it should be self-explanatory. And I ended up using just this flathead screwdriver here, and this one's a little stuck on there. It's hard to do one-handed. Okay. And so now, and by the way, you can rotate this a little bit because this control module here is in the way. But I rotated mine like that, and I was able to pop that clip off. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this camera down so I can get this thing off of here, because I already did the top one, and this should just pop off. Alright guys, I got it out. New, old. Now about 10 minutes has transpired. I've had to pull the clips out of the new one, and as you can see here, I really get that focused. I really chewed up the head on that, because what you need to do is you have to push the clip, use your screwdriver, and you pry it up here, but push it straight off. Don't try to do what I did and wiggle one side out and then try to wiggle the other side, because it's shaped like a C, so it gets stuck in there if you do it that way. You'll know what I'm talking about when you get to it. Just push it straight off the end if you can. Now the old ones, you can do whatever you want, because you're probably going to throw away the clips. I just want to throw that out there, so I did have to use those pliers. So I'm going to go ahead and snap this one on. Alright, so this end has been popped on. and come over here. This one is not lining up. Alright, so I did have the right part. What you have to do is, well, you don't notice it because you had your prop up, but basically this hood sags just a little bit when you pop that first shock out. So I had to lift up on this side of the hood to get that to seat in there the way it should. So right now it's sitting on the ball and socket. I'm gonna go ahead and snap these C-clips on here, just 2 of them, and I believe these will go on much the same way. Let me do this with 2 hands. Alright, this took about 10 minutes of jimmying around with. But I do have the clip on there, and as you can see, it did take a little bit of force. It's kind of hard getting it up. And you just got to slide it over this cap here. And then I had to use 2 screwdrivers and like shove it down. So it wasn't as easy as I thought, but if you keep going at it, you'll figure it out. I mean, it's really not hard. You just got to get that clip over there in any way possible, and then check the integrity of it when you're done. Now I got to do this bottom one. And do note there are 2 different size clips, so if you're like me and you took them both off, there's a smaller one that goes on the top, and then there's a fatter one right here. And this fat one goes on the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that one here next. Alright guys, I got her in there. It's about as good as it's gonna get. But yeah, I checked the integrity. I did have to use a pliers to try to open that C-clip up just a little bit. That seemed to help. And then I checked when I was done to make sure that clamp was still tight on there, and the way I did that is I lifted up on the hood to take the load off that shock, and then moved it laterally to see if it would come off again, and it seems like those clips have wrapped around the ball joints there, at least somewhat, and as you can see, they seem to be functioning. Now only one of them is good right now, so this should improve with the other side, which I'll show you here in a minute. Alright, so as you can see here, this side is a little less obstructed. Same procedure, a clip right here to remove, a clip right here to remove, and you have a lot more room. There's no modules in the way, and this will pop off. Now be careful, because even though we've done the other side, you still need to have your hood prop under the car so that you don't crush yourself when that support gives out. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. Alright, I kid you not, literally 60 seconds has passed. Those 2 clips popped off really easily. All I got to do now is grab this other new shock, and we're going to pop these clips off and stick her on the car. Guys, I made a landmark discovery here. So it's only been a couple minutes. I've already got this new one popped on, but I left this clip up here alone to show you. I figured out if you only partially pop these clips off, you can leave the clip on the housing, pop it over the socket, and then just come up here, use your screwdriver, and drop that into place like so. Get this other end here, and that's on secure, and I didn't have to actually remove the clip entirely, so I'm sorry I didn't say that earlier. But yeah, that made that so much easier. Okay, so pop that hood and we're going to show you the finished product. So we're going to go ahead and reach under here, pop that, let it go. Look at that. Guys, you just replaced your hood shocks on your late 90s, early 2000s Panther body car. Congratulations. Hit me up in the comments if you have any questions. And like and subscribe for more videos of repairs on this car.